Welcome to RazorActive, where we talk about the sporting issues that matter to you. I'm Shi Ting, and this is Kareen, and we have Ernest, the Deputy Sports Director of the new paper.
Wow.
Wow, editor.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, editor. Okay.
Don't worry, she'll
okay.
She'll give you the raise. Okay, today on RazorActive, we're going to talk about rock climbing, and we have two guests with us. This is June Pein, and this is Kareen, and they have about 8 years each of experience in rock climbing. And a little bit later on, we'll be talking about football, but let's start with rock climbing, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So, what's the appeal of rock climbing? Why do you all go into this for 8 years? Kareen?
High adrenaline.
High adrenaline?
Yeah, I think that's one main component.
Okay.
What else?
I think what we do here locally, especially all this climbing on artificial walls, it's a means to an ends. When we go overseas and you climb on real rocks, you get really high. It brings you to places where normal people would never have access to. Yep.
Wow.
So where have you done it overseas?
I think common places among both of us would probably be Krabi, a good many parts of Malaysia. And I think depends on money and how much luck you have. I guess I've been a little bit lucky. I've been to places like the US to climb. I've been to several countries in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, name a few. Yeah.
What's the toughest one that you have scaled then?
I think the difficulty of the climbs aren't really specific to a country or a place. They tend to depend on the type of the inclination of the rocks, as well as the type of surfaces that you climb on. So I've been to some very popular, very easy places in France, but because the climbs are totally different from what you're used to around here,
so you would deem it difficult,
yeah.
Whereas for the French, maybe they find it easy because they're very used to that kind of style of climbing.
I see.
Yeah. So it really varies between cultures too, or what you're used to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for some of you, rock climbing may sound very foreign. Well, it is a sport that I would never think of taking up too. But recently, I was persuaded by a very experienced rock climber who hailed from San Diego. He's none other than Chris Lindner, who was in Singapore last week, and he gave me a crash course on rock climbing. So if you haven't tried rock climbing before and is intrigued by it, you will want to take a look at this. Let's roll clip.
You're going to need a pair of rock climbing shoes. You're going to need a harness. And you're going to need what's called a chalk bag, which is like a little bag that you put your chalk in to keep your hands from sweating. And once you get those three things, you're basically a rock climber.
If I'm scared of heights, should I try rock climbing?
Of course, you got to overcome those fear of heights, and you just got to be able to trust something that's safe, So you got to put your trust into the rope, or you got to put your trust into somebody saying that I got you. You got pads underneath you, and I won't put you in any danger. How's that sound? You got to trust me that it's going to be okay.
I trust that I'm not going to die today. So let's go.
So here you got your harness. Promise you'll stay alive.
You better.
Yeah. You're in good hands around here. Ready?
Whoa, whoa.
All right. That should hold.
Nice.
All right. So now we got our harnesses on. We're going to go get tied in and get the belay device working, and then I'll get you up that wall.
What did I get myself into?
So you got your climbing shoes on? Tied in. I've got you. The rope's going to hold you, right? All right. So now let me show you a little bit of the basics of climbing.
Yep.
Basically, when you are going to think it with your feet first, okay? You're going to try to step on your feet, and then you're going to try to get your hips over your feet and step up on your foot, okay? So then you put your foot up, and then you're going to take your hips and put it over that foot, and you're going to actually stand up. So you're actually using your big muscles more than your arms, okay? So think about using your legs more than your arms, and you'll be good.
Okay.
Okay?
That's all?
That's all. That's all you need. Climb, look ahead, step on your feet. Think feet first.
Which one to
just try to grab the biggest ones you can. So let's see here. I'll give you a little demo here.
Okay.
You're gonna start like this, right? Mm-hmm. You step up. Oh God, that one spins.
Oh, it's not gonna happen to me.
Right there. There.
I'm not gonna belay you.
I know. All right, so you'll figure it out. I got trust in you.
Jeez. That was really a crash course.
Yeah. You can go anywhere, though. You can use any holds you want. Just try to look for the biggest ones. Maybe starting right here is better for you. Here, and then you can get your foot up to here. After like 10 times, you'll be fine.
10 times, no thanks.
All right, ready for go?
I guess.
Say climbing.
Climbing.
Climb on. That one. Try to get your foot all the way up to that one now.
You're kidding.
No, get on it. Now put your hips over that foot and just step up on it. Get it up there. Rock your hips over it. Yep. Reach out right. Yeah, look at that. Keep your feet on. It's all feet, remember? That's it. Step over that foot now. There you go. Remember, left foot out here.
Where?
So this blue one. Yep, exactly. Good. Awesome. Put your left foot up. Trust it. That's it. Easy. Touch the chains. Touch the top. Woo! Okay. Woohoo! Look at that. Would you look at that? Good job.
I'm going to claim medical fees for this, okay, Razer TV. This is going to cost you $100. Yeah, if you haven't realized, of course there isn't like 4 cameramen around. I did it 4 times, and on my second try I fell, and that explains the scratch on my knee.
So that was your first time?
Yeah, that was my first
And you
time.
did it 4 times?
Yeah.
Have you done it before, Ernest?
No, I haven't, but I've climbed like, those small little playground things and all that when we were young. That's about it, right? That's the furthest we got.
Is that rock climbing?
Yeah, not really, right? More like playground climbing.
Close enough. I mean, the basics are the same.
Yeah. But if you wanted to get into the sport here, I mean, like, it's seen as a lifestyle sport. If you want to classify it as that, as a lifestyle sport, how popular has it become in the last few years,
I think the sport has really grown, I think, within the past few years, in a part because there's been a lot of push from especially the schools. I think we're talking about maybe the early secondary to the tertiary level. There's a huge group of students that are doing the sport there in that group, and increasingly the numbers are the age group of the climbers are going younger. In fact, this year at the event where you saw Chris Lindner, we had a huge turnout in terms of the under 12 crowd. Yeah, a lot of excited teachers with their
Is it a CCA or it's not yet?
Yeah, some schools put it as an ECA now. So, they engage coaches and they have like teachers' experience in climbing, leading the ECA too, just to bring up the sport.
Yeah, but I think one thing is quite important. It's sort of the passion for the sport. Like I did it when I was in school because the facilities were there, the equipment was there. But after you leave school and then you're like, I have to go rock climbing, I have to go to Safra. It's quite a bit of effort involved also. So
unless you're really into it, you wouldn't go the extra mile.
Yeah.
Actually, the main factor is the people who you climb with, right? Correct. If you have this, if you find yourself embedded in this group of enthusiasts, climbing enthusiasts, then I think everybody will just be encouraging each other to go every weekend. You make it like a compulsory thing. It's like every Friday people go pubs because they have like, a certain group of kaki drinking, right? So it's the same thing. Okay.
So you actually prepare for your weekend like a climbing kakis. Okay, on Saturday morning you get up.
Yeah,
How do you plan your weekends for this?
I think it depends.
The wall, right?
Depends on where you're going. Actually, I think most of the places like Climb Asia, where we have own gym, you can just walk in and do the activities.
Okay.
Of course, there are certain limits depending on what sort of skill level you walk in with. If you're a total beginner, there are certain areas that you won't have access to. And of course, if you're a trained climber, then the kind of things you can do is totally different as well. Yeah. So. Like Kareen was mentioning, and Ernest mentioned as well, it's very much a lifestyle thing. So instead of calling your friends out for a movie, instead of going, to the beach to play, go to Sentosa and hang out, you just choose a different place and a different activity to do it. So in this case, it's just Saturday, let's head down to the local climbing gym and let's do our workout there.
Mm-hmm. So Kareen, is it more difficult for a female to do rock climbing as compared to a male?
No, not really. Like, people always ask, rock climbing, you need a lot of strength to do it, right?
Then show us your biceps, man.
Toned arms.
I say.
No, but I always tell them, hey, like this guy, IPPT can do like 12 pull-ups. I can't do any pull-ups, but I can beat him up the wall kind of thing. So it's about technique, not really about strength. Yeah, not really. I mean, strength puts you at a better competitive age in a sense. If you compare to one, both can climb, but one is stronger than the other, then of course you have an added advantage. But it doesn't just take strength only.
Okay, so what is the correct technique then, so that you don't have to use too much strength to do it?
That one you have to attend basic climbing technique course.
Okay.
So what if you have a fear of heights? How do you overcome that? A lot of people
I
might
think you
have.
have to ask Shi Ting this.
Yeah.
Shi Ting,
Right
yeah,
person to ask
perfect person.
Shi Ting. I guess you have to trust, because Chris Lindner keeps saying you have to trust the rope, you have to trust the person who's belaying you, you have to trust that you're not going to die today. You just have to trust, and when you trust, you have more confidence to do it, and then you just be more focused in climbing rather than thinking of falling, and then you just reach the top before you know it, I guess. Well, am I right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think close enough.
And just don't look down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But actually, half the time, from the few times that I did it, there's sort of no time to look down. Yeah, just
Right. You're just looking up. And
which is the
which is the next
hole
one?
I
Yeah,
can grab on.
exactly.
So it doesn't. Height is not really a problem for me in that sense, I guess.
You're lucky.
What, did you have to conquer a fear of heights also? Or?
Lucky for me too, no. But not really. If let's say we go to a natural wall, your phobia of height is more imminent than when you're in a controlled environment, because I don't know, the natural rocks just
It's a wide open
it has a
space.
towering presence over
Where are
you
the best
somehow.
spots for that? The natural rock climbing
Yeah,
places
best-
here.
Place,
Oh, here.
Okay. Closest to Singapore, you're probably talking about Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Yeah.
Or if you can travel a bit further, would be Ipoh. Or if you can head all the way up to Thailand, would be Krabi.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere in Singapore where we can.
Bukit Timah.
Yes, you can. Bukit Timah is one place where you can do it, but there are limitations. It's what you're working with is a disused quarry, so it's what you have is what's left of the rocks after blasting and mining and all that stuff. And given our climate, it's wet half the year, so yeah,
Pretty dangerous in a sense, falling rocks and stuff. I mean, I don't know. You may be unfortunate, unlucky.
frankly, the closest world-class destination, Thailand.
Yeah, Thailand.
Okay.
Cheap and good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And great scenery too as well.
Food is
Yeah.
good.
Well, actually, I climbed the Mount Kinabalu before. Is there anything close to rock climbing?
That one just walk only, right?
But after that, it became kind of
Bit
steep.
scrambling.
Yeah,
right?
I have to
Okay.
hold on to a
I
rope.
think it's a little bit
Great
bit
Wall.
different. What we do here mostly it's rock climbing, and what you probably closer to doing was
called trekking.
it's either trekking or mountaineering. You can probably say that climbing is kind of like a subset of mountaineering, but it's a very specific skill set, and we really use it for scaling very steep wall surfaces. So it's kind of developed into a sport in its own right, lah.
Okay, I see. Well, of course, the very experienced rock climber Chris Lindner was in town, and let's listen to what he has to say about rock climbing in Singapore and his own climbing experience. If you're a rock climber, you probably know Chris Lindner. Well, this good looker beside me has 21 years of experience, so he's an expert in the field, and he's here in Singapore to promote his love for rock climbing. So, Chris, do you like Singapore?
Yeah, it's awesome here. It's beautiful country. The climbing community around here has been really welcoming of me here, and it's been fun getting to know everybody. So, yeah, it's been a good trip so far.
So, how do you think is the popularity of rock climbing in Singapore?
Well, I was actually, I've been traveling in Asia now for almost 2 months, and I was in Vietnam and Philippines and Indonesia, and everywhere I go, everybody says that Singapore has like the best climbing community and the best competition community here in most of Asia. You guys have limited space, so you guys don't really have a lot of outdoor, like real rock climbing, but you guys have a really good and coordinated indoor rock climbing scene here. At this Climb On Asia event here, you have just tons and tons of rock climbers, and they're just all having fun out on the rocks, and yeah, so it's good. It's a good vibe and an active and motivated crew here.
So do you think like rock climbing is underrated as a sport?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people don't really know what rock climbing is. They think of, when I say I'm a rock climber, see people are like, oh my God, that's crazy, they're like, what's the highest thing you've ever climbed, But as you can see, we're really not climbing really all that high here. What we're looking for is difficulty. So what we look for as rock climbers are really cool rocks that are hard to climb, not necessarily mountains or, peaks to summit.
So what is the appeal of rock climbing then?
Well, it's constantly different. Every single rock you go to in the world is different different from the last one. You know, you'll never ever find a rock that's identical to another rock. One of the coolest experiences I've done is on El Capitan, which is in Yosemite Valley. It's Yosemite National Park in California. It's a rock climb that's maybe 1,500 meters tall, so it's really, really tall, and you have to take all your stuff along with you. It takes 4 days to rock climb it. So it's a gigantic rock, and you have to, bring all your water, and you have to bring your food, and you have to bring your sleeping bags, and all your climbing gear with you for 4 days. You build what's called a portaledge, which is kind of like a hanging hammock in a way for 2 people, and you hang it off of a bolt, and you hang there, and you sleep on this little ledge on the side of the wall. You cook your dinner at night, reminisce about the day's climbing, and then you go to sleep because you're all tired from climbing all day, and then you wake up in the morning and you look over the edge and you're like, oh my God!
Oh my God!
Actually, you were talking about the diversity. I mean, you're talking about the kids nowadays. There are so many choices to do a lot more different sports than just the traditional sports, like football, basketball, and badminton and all this. What do you think of that,
I think it's very good. I think there's a lot of push, like you were saying, especially from the teachers nowadays. A lot of them are getting more excited about getting a student exposed to such a non-conventional activities or stuff that generates character. Having activities like this opens the doors to a lot more kids for whom maybe conventional sports just don't work out. Like if for lack of a better way to put it, if you've got no ball sense whatsoever, maybe rock climbing is it for you. Yeah, that's all that's all you're working with, just your hands and your legs.
What about the young girls, Kareen, in Singapore?
Oh,
how do you find
don't
it?
be surprised they're stronger than you.
Okay.
That's
it, man.
The girls are coming up. Like I was just telling Jubes just now, 8 years ago when I started climbing, if I go to the rock gym, I would very well be just 1 out of 3 girls in the gym. Whereas now, you have so many young girls inside there. I think you can say it's equal proportion. So don't underestimate the girls now.
Okay. And at school level, I mean, what about?
Yes, especially at school level, because it's where they start their exposure. They're being exposed. As compared to maybe 20 plus,
And that's the other thing, you don't have the old stereotypes, right? Like girls shouldn't be playing football or rugby or whatever. You don't have that. You just go in, everyone's equal.
Yes.
I mean, as a comparison, I think a fair number of our top female climbers nowadays, they're probably sitting somewhere up there together with the rest of the guys when they climb together, and they do climb together. So it's not a sport where you naturally have a very, very clear divide between the guys and the girls.
In fact, Karleen has tried rock climbing before, right? How would you describe your experience?
I actually quite like it. There's a sense of accomplishment when you reach the top, even though the top that I reached was not very high, but it makes a difference. And then if other people can't really do it, then you're like, it's quite self-confidence when you can reach the top. I think I said that a lot, but it's actually quite fun, and I find that I think it's easy, especially when you have it in school. I think now there are a lot of schools with rock walls, so when the equipment is there, you can just do it for PE. It's just half an hour, everyone can have a go. So I think the exposure is quite important for a start.
Okay, looks like that's all the time we have for you for rock climbing tonight. Thank you, all of you, for coming to our living room tonight. And when we come back, we will find out whether football is a brilliant game or the most stupid sport in the world.